We know that Virginia is absolutely livid at this Trump regime. Virginia's been impacted significantly by all of the atrocious conduct by Trump and his team. I want to show you this because we've got a big election coming up there on November 4th. You have the governor's race, but you also have, for example, and people need to pay attention to this, the entire House of Delegates, all 100 seats, is up for election on November 4th as well. You know, at the top of the ticket on the MAGA Republican side, you have Winsome Earl-Sears. She's a MAGA sycophant. And then you have, for the Democrats, Abigail Spanberger, representing the top of the ticket there. But we should talk more broadly about what's going on in Virginia. But like, have you seen just in the past few days what Winsome Earl-Sears, this MAGA Republican candidate, said? She pretends that unemployment is actually decreasing in the state and that things are better when the data reflects the opposite. Here, play this clip of her on Fox, of all places.
She does point to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which we hope is going to be nonpartisan and neutral, showing that when you took office, there was a 2.7% unemployment rate and that it's now 3.6. Do you quibble with the data?
Well, what I'm telling you is that we're creating jobs. We have over 15,000 new business startups that never existed. So how is it possible that, we have to figure out what is the data? What are they measuring? I don't know. I don't know where they're getting the stats from. I haven't seen what your stats look like. I just know what ours looks like.
What your stats? They're the stats. They're the jobs. And everybody who lives in Virginia knows that unemployment is going up. Then you may recall a few months back, the MeidasTouch network broke this story exclusively, where MAGA Republican Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears says she doesn't understand why people in Virginia are upset about losing their jobs. Everybody loses their jobs, she says. Just get over it. What are we talking about? You play this clip.
Now, I'm hearing about Doge and all of that, and yes, we don't want folks to lose their jobs. We have over 250,000 jobs that we've created since we've been in office. So, if you've lost your job, and how many here has ever lost a job? Oh, you mean it's not unusual? It happens to everybody all the time? Okay. And the media is making it out to be this huge, huge thing. And I don't understand why.
You don't understand why. By the way, where are those Doge dividend checks? Isn't Donald Trump saying that he brought in $18 trillion? Isn't that what he said when he was in the Middle East? 18 trillion. Where's those tariff rebate checks? Where's those Doge dividend checks? People ain't seeing it here. And then MeidasTouch Network broke this exclusive story where MAGA Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears, in a 2022 interview, warned supporters of reproductive rights that one day it's going to be your turn. Murder is murder, and it's going to be your turn, she says. A MeidasTouch exclusive. Let's play it.
Let's not talk about what's happening with Ukraine. When you are willing to kill a child up until the day that the baby could be born, right. Go get thee a mirror and ask yourself if you're okay with this kind of thing. Yeah. I don't care whether you're Libertarian, Democrat, Reform Party, Green. I don't care who you are. Murder is murder. And one day it's going to be your turn.
And then I'm not sure if you saw the debate that just took place between Democrat Abigail Spanberger and MAGA Republican Winsome Earl-Sears. But Winsome Earl-Sears says it ain't discrimination if you're doing it to gay people, she says. That's not discrimination. If you fire people because they're gay, not discrimination. She said it during the debate. It was like one of the craziest debate moments I've ever seen. Here, play this clip.
My opponent has previously said that she does not think that gay couples should be allowed to marry. She has said that she is quote unquote morally opposed to same-sex marriage. My opponent has also previously said that she thinks it's okay for someone to be fired from their job for being gay. That's discrimination.
Ms. Spanberger, your time is up, and now.
I mean, this would be an SNL skit if it wasn't so serious. I want to bring in the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates, Don Scott. Speaker Scott, it's great to see you right there. I guess make sense of those clips, and then we'll get into we'll have you react to that.
I can't make sense of that. Are you asking me to perform a miracle? I mean, this lady is so unhinged and so out of touch with everything that she says. I mean, you would have thought it would have been a joke. I was sitting in the room when she said that, she said she wants to fire people because they're gay. And she interrupts her to I've never seen anybody interrupt her to say, excuse me, that's not discrimination. And she says it 2 or 3 times. I have never seen anything like that in my life. If you can make sense of it, let me know. I mean, there's some psychiatrists or somebody out there that may be able to give her the help that she needs. But
I'll ask you not as the psychiatrist, but as the Speaker of the House of Delegates, though, when you hear these MAGA Republicans in Virginia, and by the way, including the governor, basically saying things like, it's okay for Virginians to lose their jobs. It's happened to people before. Why do people make a big deal? We hear the MAGA Republican governor saying it right now. We hear Winsome Earls. What's your response to that?
I mean, it's sad, and I don't think they're connecting with real people. I mean, the empathy that's required. Okay, first of all, you won't stand up to Donald Trump. We know you're all sycophants. You're just gonna fall in line with whatever he says. But then the fact that you will not even, try to empathize with the people whose lives are being upended. You lose your job. Like, okay, she's making it sound like this is a job at McDonald's and like you've been working there a couple of years, you're in high school. These are people whose whole livelihoods are built around their employment. They've moved to a region for this job. They're putting kids through college. They're paying their mortgages. They're paying their bills. They're trying to make a life for themselves and their families. They're taking care of elderly parents. To see someone so detached from the pain and suffering that the Trump administration is causing is really sad. And it just tells you that they have no idea what everyday hardworking Virginians are going through. And then when you couple that with, the she's running with a person on her ticket who's a lieutenant governor who happens to be gay. So you put all of that together, you start saying these people you can't make this stuff up. You really can't.
I didn't realize that fact. She's running with a gay person and she made that comment.
She's running. The lieutenant governor, he's gay. And I guess she's gonna fire him. I don't know.
That's wild. But you hit on a great point there, which is, and I think this has been one of the biggest casualties of Trump injecting himself into the American body politic is empathy. And I try to hit on that a lot on this network because I think politics sometimes gamifies what's happening in the day to day, and people pick their sides and, well, here's my fear. But like at the end of the day, I try to say, stop it. Like, we're human beings, damn it. And what's happening here in Virginia, but all across the country by Trump regime, by people like Winsome Earl-Sears, it's cruel and it's unusual punishment being inflicted on people. The government being used as a tool by Republicans to take away things or to affirmatively inflict pain instead of uplift. And that, to me, is such an important concept here. And I think you hit on it there.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the cruelty. I mean, it's like, I think we're being constantly trolled by them. I mean, it's like the meanest people on Twitter actually got a hold to our government now and are running it. I mean, when you have people zip tying kids, rappelling in on helicopters in an American city, and then zip tying kids who've done nothing wrong and putting them outside, sometimes without clothes on. We have a problem in this country, but I think, and I call me an optimist, I just think the majority of Americans don't approve and that they're going to send a very strong message here from Virginia. I always say Virginia is for lovers. And I think we're going to send a love letter to the rest of the country that we have not all lost our damn minds. Republicans are focused on one thing in Virginia. I mean, her whole race is, on, policing bathrooms. I mean, they're the pee and poop caucus. That's all they do. They police where the kids are peeing and pooping. They're not worrying about where kids are learning and what they're getting out of school. And I think, they're picking on the very smallest percentage of our population. But I think if we stay focused on the issues around affordability, which Trump said he was going to, like you said, he was going to give back the tariff dividends, and that nobody's seen. Farmers are getting ruined. No checks have come in the mail yet. He left the country while the government shut down. A few weeks ago, he came to Virginia and snuck in for a photo op at the largest naval base in Norfolk, did a photo op and got out while government workers are not being paid and folks are not being paid. And that impacts our economy here in Virginia. It has a rippling effect throughout our whole economy. Restaurants, real estate, the whole 9 yards gets impacted because our economy is so impacted by federal workers and the military. And to see those folks getting hurt. A lot of the folks who are federal workers, they're also veterans. And they look at their work for the government as a continuation of their service to this nation. And to see them being disrespected by the likes of Elon Musk, being told to justify their day and getting fired, unceremoniously dumped, I think is wrong. And I think the country is going to be fed up, and we're going to send a love letter, not only to America, but to the rest of the world who's paying attention to this election. So I feel really good about where we are here in the House of Delegates with those 100 members. And I feel really good about what we can do with this election. What's funny, and I know you're going to say something real quick, anytime you have to go on Fox News and you get fact checked, you get invited and you get fact checked on the data on job loss. I mean, we've had 8 straight months of job losses in Virginia. According to Trump's government, the 9th month, we probably had job losses as well, because the Carlyle Group, who Youngkin used to work for, did a release this week that says we lost more jobs, but we didn't, because the government shut down, we didn't get that data. So I just think it's bad when you have to get fact checked on Fox News and you're living in an alternate reality. And so that tells you that she has no strategy to help in Virginia and to help Virginians move forward.
But Speaker Scott, you're telling me that people in Virginia are not thrilled that Donald Trump got a Qatari jet? Isn't that what everybody in Virginia wanted? A Qatari 747 or a 90,000 square foot golden ballroom, or a UFC wrestling match is going to be coming to the White House apparently, or they're thinking about building a triumphant arch somewhere in the mall. I mean, Donald Trump was in a golden carriage in the UK. So you're telling me that Virginians aren't like, this is a golden age for us in Virginia? You're telling me Virginians care about like kitchen table issues, about whether they could afford their rent and, whether they'll get their health care ripped away by this government? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're saying. These premium subsidies, it's not just the subsidies, but the cost of healthcare is going up, and he doesn't care. And I think that's what people are going to realize. I think that's what the election will tell us, that people actually still do care about issues, that they, the entertainment and the distractions that Republicans are trying to make about whatever they decide to make a distraction about, whether it's his new gold palace that he's making at the White House, or his WWE mixed martial arts fighting, UFC fighting at the White House, whatever it is, people are going to be focused on everyday issues. And I think they're about to get a big lesson in that here in November from Virginia and New Jersey. I really do.
Before we go, Speaker Scott, remind people about what should they be doing right now? Is there a way people who don't live in Virginia can help? What's your message to people in Virginia as we approach that big November 4th election, where top of the ticket, you've got Spanberger versus Winsome Earl-Sears, Democrat Spanberger, MAGA Republican Winsome Earl-Sears. But again, there's a lot of other elections taking place in Virginia, including the entire House of Delegates, for which you're the Speaker.
Right. I'm on the ballot along with 99 other members of the House, and we have a 51-49 majority. So 51 of my colleagues on the ballot, along with, we're trying to get up to 60 seats. I mean, we're trying to play in a lot of seats. For the first time ever, we have a Democrat running every single House seat. The Republicans don't have a member running in every seat. I'm unopposed per se, but you can go to www.donscott.com. I would love for anybody who's listening to make a contribution. Everything that I get, I give it to the caucus. I give it to those candidates who are vulnerable, who can win. People should realize how important it is. You look at what the Republicans are doing with redistricting. The legislature, the state legislatures are where the fights are right now. And the Republicans have known it all along. They built up a bench from the bottom up, their community up. We need to start focusing more on these state races. I know the federal stuff is the sexy stuff, but I would start focusing more on these state races, because I believe if we get the infrastructure in these states, then we can build up a infrastructure to begin to change what's happening in this country. Pendulum swing, they don't creep across. And I think the pendulum swung too far, and I think it's going to swing back our way. We just have to be ready and prepared to deliver for the American people and for the Commonwealth of Virginia. So thank you for having me on today.
Speaker Don Scott, Virginia House of Delegates. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.